This is a pen. This is not a pen. Is this a pen? That is a book. That is not a book. Is that a book? These are apples. These are not apples. Are these apples? Those are cars. Those are not cars. Are those cars? This is my bag. This is not my bag. Is this my bag? That is his house. That is not his house. Is that his house? These are our friends. These are not our friends. Are these our friends? Those are their dogs. Those are not their dogs. Are those their dogs? This is a nice day. This is not a nice day. Is this a nice day? That is a big tree. That is not a big tree. Is that a big tree? These are new shoes. These are not new shoes. Are these new shoes? Those are old pictures. Those are not old pictures. Are those old pictures? This is an interesting story. This is not an interesting story. Is this an interesting story? That is a blue chair. That is not a blue chair. Is that a blue chair? These are fresh flowers. These are not fresh flowers. Are these fresh flowers? Those are tall buildings. Those are not tall buildings. Are those tall buildings? This is a warm sweater. This is not a warm sweater. Is this a warm sweater? That is a cold drink. That is not a cold drink. Is that a cold drink? These are tasty cookies. These are not tasty cookies. Are these tasty cookies? Those are funny cartoons. Those are not funny cartoons. Are those funny cartoons? This is your phone. This is not your phone. Is this your phone? That is her laptop. That is not her laptop. Is that her laptop? These are my keys. These are not my keys. Are these my keys? Those are his hats. Those are not his hats. Are those his hats? This is our garden. This is not our garden. Is this our garden? That is their school. That is not their school. Is that their school? These are good books. These are not good books. Are these good books? Those are red balls. Those are not red balls. Are those red balls? This is a chair. This is not a chair. Is this a chair? That is a table. That is not a table. Is that a table? These are birds. These are not birds. Are these birds? Those are fish. Those are not fish. Are those fish? This is a clock. This is not a clock. Is this a clock? That is a lamp. That is not a lamp. Is that a lamp? These are books. These are not books. Are these books? Those are pens. Those are not pens. Are those pens? This is a computer. This is not a computer. Is this a computer? That is a phone. That is not a phone. Is that a phone? These are cups. These are not cups. Are these cups? Those are plates. Those are not plates. Are those plates? This is a picture. This is not a picture. Is this a picture? That is a door. That is not a door. Is that a door? These are chairs. These are not chairs. Are these chairs? Those are tables. Those are not tables. Are those tables? This is a pen holder. This is not a pen holder. Is this a pen holder? That is a notebook. That is not a notebook. Is that a notebook? These are plants. These are not plants. Are these plants? Those are flowers. Those are not flowers. Are those flowers? This is a bag. This is not a bag. Is this a bag? That is a jacket. That is not a jacket. Is that a jacket? These are shoes. These are not shoes. Are these shoes? Those are socks. Those are not socks. Are those socks? This is a ball. This is not a ball. Is this a ball? That is a kite. That is not a kite. Is that a kite? These are toys. These are not toys. Are these toys? Those are games. Those are not games. Are those games? This is a hat. This is not a hat. Is this a hat? That is a scarf. That is not a scarf. Is that a scarf? These are glasses. These are not glasses. Are these glasses? Those are watches. Those are not watches. Are those watches? This is a cup. This is not a cup. Is this a cup? That is a bottle. That is not a bottle. Is that a bottle? These are keys. These are not keys. Are these keys? Those are wallets. Those are not wallets. Are those wallets? This is a bike. This is not a bike. Is this a bike? That is a car. That is not a car. Is that a car? These are balls. These are not balls. Are these balls? Those are bikes. Those are not bikes. Are those bikes? This is a sweater. This is not a sweater. Is this a sweater? That is a coat. That is not a coat. Is that a coat? These are jackets. These are not jackets. Are these jackets? Those are boots. Those are not boots. Are those boots? This is a scarf. This is not a scarf. Is this a scarf? That is a glove. That is not a glove. Is that a glove?